Good morning, bon après-midi, guten Tag, and namaskar to all
Namaskar.
our distinguished attendees who have tuned in from around the globe. Today, we will be looking at stress, causes, effects, and management with our distinguished guest on the Health Talk show under the aegis of International Internship University Medical Council, headed by Dr. Hamid Rasool. A warm welcome to our guest, Professor Dr. Tosendra Dwivedi, Professor of Psychology, Alliance University, Bengaluru, to
Thank you
the
so much.
wonderful platform of IIU Medical Council. A very warm welcome to you, sir, and namaskar.
Namaskar and very warm,
It is
very warm
always
good
a
evening to everyone.
pleasure to have you
So,
on our platform, sir, and really excited to uh, learn with you that how stress is caused and how it affects the mind and how can we alleviate the effects of stress. So
def-
sir, shall we start?
yes, ma'am, we can start.
So the very first question that I have for you, sir, is that can you please explain to our audience what do we actually understand by stress? Because some of us get, carried away with the terminology. So please describe to us in very simple terms as to what exactly is stress.
Yeah. So, first of all, before thank you, ma'am, and it is very relevant question. So, before we understand stress, let me tell you that you can avoid it, you can fight it or flight it, but you cannot ignore or avoid stress. It is inevitable like oxygen, and particularly in the today's life of rush and today's cutthroat competitive exams, matching personal and professional boundaries. So, well, when as the definition says, stress is a condition which challenges your self-adequacy, quote unquote, within inverted commas, self-adequacy. So, what does this term self-adequacy means? Suppose you have 1 hour to go to, you need 1 hour to reach airport to take a flight, and you have just 40 minutes left. The clock starts ticking and building upon. That is stress because you lose control over the situation. So this challenges your ability to perform, or this challenges your own confidence to reach the airport. Similarly, a friend has been calling you every night at 10 to know whether you had dinner and how was the day like. So you got his call regularly. So your self-adequacy was preserved. But all of a sudden, that friend vanished and he or she did not call you for 1 week. No message, no continuity of contact. Then again, you starts calculating, the clock starts ticking. So stress is a condition generally negative in nature, which challenges your self-adequacy, your own self-esteem and self-belief. So it is not that it is always negative. Stress is positive also, because unless and until there is no stress, the students won't study this rigorously during exams. But yes, if it is detrimental to your performance, if it is getting on your nerves, if it is giving you sleepless nights, if it is depriving you of many things and giving you a lot of hiccups and a lot of pains in life, then it becomes a negative stress, which we in psychology call as distress. Ma'am, your voice is not, you are on mute, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Sorry. So stress can both be positive and negative, right?
Yes.
You just talked about negative stress as in the pressure that builds up on oneself when either we're traveling or we're preparing for some kind of an event. Like for example, even for myself, maybe I was a little stressed with a few things that I wanted to do for tonight's show. But how would you describe positive stress? If you could give us some more examples where stress could also be looked at positively, so then it clears the person's mind that, yes, okay, I am this is also good for me.
Yes, I can give you a lot of example. For example, if you are planning to shed some extra weight from your body. Now, initially we plan to wake up early in the morning, and then again as soon as the alarm rings, we bang it and we sleep again. So one day a doctor tells you that your obesity is going to cause you maybe a gastric or maybe a cardiac problem later on. So that gives you a stress, which actually forces you to get up early in the morning and go for a walk or jogging, which is good. Right. So I would say it's a kind of a double-edged sword. I mean, it's a kind of a double-edged sword. If it is under your control, then definitely it's the best. But if it you lose the control, then it hits you. I would say the stress is can be understood like a choir of violin. If it is normal threshold, it is good. There is a sound and music in it. But if it is too much tightened, then it breaks, it hampers. But if it is too loosened, there is no stress, then people will be very casual. There won't be work and performance, and there won't be, even if a boy goes to propose someone, he has some amount of stress, but that stress is required so that he reaches the destination and get to know yes or no. So,
A very right example, I must say, given that our youngsters start early in this phase of life as well.
yes.
All right, so can you now list out exactly what are the causes that lead to the stress, either negative or positives?
See, positive stress is something which people enjoy, just like a marriage ceremony. A girl or a boy thinks and he's trimmed by marriage, and but again there is a lot of responsibilities and other things. So all positive life events like getting first in the exams, like getting some scholarship degrees, doing some internship with the universities like IIU or something. It thrills someone, but at the same time, people mentally they starts readying themselves and they are ready for performance. But negative stress is very detrimental, and most of I would say that all our youngsters should understand the reasons. The first reason I would say is genetic. Some people are very much prone to stress. They are very thin skinned. Even on the small comment by somebody, people are, we have seen people and students committing suicide. So it is very important for the parents to make their kids thick skinned, because सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग, right? If people are too much carried away by what others say, by others opinion, then they are not living the life of their own. So some people are type A personality, which are very thin skinned and which are more prone to stress and cardiac disorders. They are very ambitious, but at the same time they are very fast. They lack patience, so they take more stress. Opposite to type A personality is type B personality, which are also equally ambitious, but they are slow. They aspire intensely, but without impatience. So I would say in the story which you have heard about hare and tortoise, hare is type A personality and tortoise is type B personality. So people should aspire intensely, but without impatience, without losing a control. So that was one factor. Sometimes stress, so that was one factor. Stress can also be there because of the excessive expectation of society, family, or our peers. People commit to the crimes which they otherwise won't do if their peer group was not supportive. People become addicted to cigarette, and all students we see, because their student, someone has commented on their masculinity and they start smoking cigarette and all. So that is all the reasons. So if you ask me to summarize it, so for the professional, it is workload and deadlines. So heavy workload and tight deadlines can create immense pressure, leading to stress as individuals struggle to meet the expectations. Then there are financial concerns, worries about money, bill, financial stability. Suppose you have taken loan and all, then all these are again a pain. Then relationship issue is a big problem today in the youngsters particularly. Lot of divorces happening and the kid is under the stress, whom to support. His heart lies with father or mother and someone is support, so he is in a conflict. So conflict or difficulties in personal relationship, whether at home or in workplace. Even workplace also, politics also add on to the stress, right? And then health problems, illness, injury, or the diagnosis of medical condition can trigger intense stress. And we can see that there were a lot of suicides during COVID time. Even when people were diagnosed negative, on one particular day they started sneezing and getting a cold like symptoms, and in the apprehension as if they have the COVID, actually what will happen to their family, what will happen, they started entertaining those thoughts, negative thoughts, which finally resulted into a feeling of lack of helplessness, and people committed suicide. So stress is sometimes more by your ruminating thought. Any stressor is like a small baby elephant, and if you start feeding it, then it becomes so much big that it outweighs your own identity. Because we have heard, wherever the focus goes, energy flows and it magnifies. So stress also depends on how you take the situation. Sometimes people take stressor as a challenge, they don't face that much stress. Sometimes people increase their adversity quotient. The new quotient which we talk these days is not IQ or emotional intelligence. The new quotient which we psychologists talk these days is increase your adversity quotient. Why do you believe that life is a bed of flowers? Consider it and be happy with the bed of thorns. Then you will be probably be laughing and smiling. Even in the most stressful situation, you will be taking it as a challenge, and you will be grooming in that adversity, blooming in that adversity.
Very true, sir. I mean, I was going to ask you questions about two things. One is peer pressure, which
Mhm.
makes children not actually be their real self, just to fit in.
Mhm.
And you explained it superbly. And of course, the second thing being suicide or taking their life. Because for me, as an educator, it is very important to ensure that every child is heard, because I think
Yes,
most of the times it's the not being heard which causes especially suicide. So I am a little concerned about that aspect of life, and I think it applies across the spectrum, not just students, but across the spectrum of all age groups. Not
that's true.
even not
Yes,
even I mean, you can't leave even elderly people, because I've
yes, yes.
come to know of certain older people, middle-aged people having everything going their way, and they decide to end their lives without any excuse. So it becomes a little challenging.
You're right, ma'am. If someone has somebody to talk about their issues, then definitely a lot amount of stress is fizzled out. And so it's very important for the educators to at least share or let the students share whatever they are going through.
Exac- Exactly. I think even otherwise, I think it's just being that ear. We need to re align our thought processes and get to that.
Exactly.
Now coming to, you very beautifully explained what can be the causes of stress. How would you describe the effects? Like, we understand causes, but like, it's a human body, so everybody will have a different kind of an effect. And so what could be listed as effects of stress that we can keep a sign out for, because not all of us are psychologists like you. So we don't have that extra, tuning frequency to realize, hey, can it be stress? Because I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you've learned and that's what you've practiced. So it comes naturally for you. But for others, because I think it all boils down to one helping the other,
Yes.
maybe you could help outline certain effects which could be indicators of stress.
Yes, ma'am. That's a very pertinent question, and I would like to illuminate the student and stakeholders of IIU about the symptoms of stress, which, if they see in their kith and kins and friends and colleagues, they should consider it as a red flag, and then they should find out the way to heal them, relieve them, or comfort them. So, quickly, I would say the physical symptoms when a person is into a tremendous workload or a pressure or a politics or some inability to manage work-life balance. So the physical symptoms of stress appear in the form of headache, muscle tension. There a lot of tension and pressure over shoulders and all. Sometimes it is fatigue and rapid heartbeat, I mean, a kind of a panic attack you feel. And there are a lot of digestive issue and physical manifestation of stress is like this. Sometimes you get cold and your immune system gets cold and you start getting all these burps and different kind of issues. The emotional symptoms include feeling of anxiety, irritability, helplessness, mood swings, and difficulty concentrating on. So these are the emotional symptoms. The behavioral symptoms can be changes in the sleep pattern. There is a sudden loss of appetite, or a person starts eating too much. So that is the behavioral symptoms. Increased use of alcohol, drugs, or cigarette may also be counted in this. And the cognitive symptoms or the logical symptoms, it can have a memory problem. People become, they lose the memory. They forget about short meetings and all. They have a difficulty making decision, and they have a kind of a feeling of being overwhelmed. So these are the symptoms which, if you find very frequently, then you can be thinking on the lines to help them out either personally or professionally.
Right, sir. So now coming to the most important, I think, aspect of today's dialogue that we're having on stress is how do we manage? And I would like you to, break it down, especially now with the exam fever round the corner. I would like you maybe first to just generically talk about how we can manage stress
Yeah.
and then break it down as to how the students could possibly manage stress and how the parents, because I think sometimes what happens, especially during exams, is that the parents offload their stress on children, and there are cases that even during exams, for
Hmm.
example, a child is not able to perform. There is so much of anxiety and stress that they end their lives.
Yeah.
So maybe you could break it down into or three segments where categorically on a generic level you could speak, and then divide it specially because it's exam time across the world. We have the IGC, the Cambridge exams happening, the national curricular exams happening from mid Feb. So I'm sure everybody's all in that, pressure cooker situation, if I can say it. So I think since you are there, I think you would be the best person to alleviate and, give some ways of how everybody could manage the stress and probably work better and perform better,
Yes,
especially for
yes.
the students.
Thank you, ma'am. Even I wanted to contribute first for the student because of CBSE and upcoming board exam in the
Yes,
March.
yes,
So I will start with the student only.
right, sir.
And I will pick up from the word, wonderful word picked by you, pressure cooker. So the best way of handling stress, if you're feeling like a pressure cooker, is just like a whistle of the pressure cooker. Diffuse it out. I would say to the student, first thing, why not to nip the stress in the bud? Practice makes men and women perfect. So if you don't want to have stress, try to finish up the required syllabus 1 month or 1.5 months before. Be proactive. No matter you have to take a little, you have to spend some sleepless nights, but you'll get a lot more comfortable for board exams if you have finished 1.5 months back. And then keep on revising. The more you revise, the more your self-esteem, self-concept, and confidence grows up. This boards or coming exam will be just like a passing phase, right? Rather than postponing things, people keep on postponing and procrastinating things, and every day they make calendar and all. That's not an approach. Make a realistic goal, stick to it, and try to finish up the complete syllabus within time. Now, in this syllabus also, see last 10 years questions, and you will be very sure in whether it is biology, English, or physics, or social science. Some questions, some issues have been repeatedly coming in different ways. Either it is asked to critically evaluate your human circulation system, or it is asked to elaborate on certain systems, digestive and enzyme systems or hormone system. Cover up those parts more frequently and practice writing, because right now you are reading only through mind and only two modalities are involved, three modalities: eyes and sometimes tongue and mind. Try practicing it. So it will not only help you cover up the syllabus, but you also get a hand on time management. And once you know that time is in your grip, you are able to write down and you are able to recall the facts fast, you will be at ease. What particular things to do during exam is, don't compare yourself with others, right? Especially because what there are whoever 4 5 people we talk daily, we become like that, whether we like it or not. So make sure you are in a company of those who are life givers, who are motivators, who are challengers, who are competitors, but positive attitude with positive attitude. There are a lot of people who get frustrated and they walk with the negative mindset, and their only aim is to pull down others. So avoid such news, avoid such demotivators. So think positive and be in the company of those who are motivators, who are challengers, and you can sharpen your skill of recalling and subject matter by discussing with them. Third is, don't experiment with the foods, because unwanted food, first pleasure, first thing which makes you de-stressed is your good health. So don't experiment with the fast food or too much of adventurism. Try to have a home cooked food or a simple food as far as possible. Drink lot of waters, lot of liquid, right? So that your body is hydrated. Passively, your body is 70% water. And next is, I would say that start practicing the answer writing and show it to your teacher, because they have seen it many years and they can assure you, they can give you feedback that yes, you are on a right track and you will achieve definite percentage required, CGPA required. And a special tip to the parents: have unconditional positive regards. Don't judge your kid whether he is studying, how much hours he has spent. Rather go for the quality. Be very cool. Don't push him for excessive expectation. I've seen the students who have scored in 90s and still they have committed suicide in boards. It is because their parents wanted 97 or 99 and they got 92 or 93. So again, it is not the kids' problem or the kids' failure. It is the failure of the parents, because maybe they have not scored this much in their boards and they are trying to live their life or force the poor kid towards that end. So parents especially have unconditional positive regard and appreciate your kid if he has spent the night studying. Appreciate his company. Try to be more complimenting rather than critiquing. And well, the best motivator for your son or daughter will be if you can yourself make a tea or coffee, not ask a servant, and go and give him while she or he is studying. And one more motivating tip is, while he is too obsessed with studying, distract him playfully. Distract him playfully so that you break the flow. And you know, it is human tendency. Whatever is half completed, people run back to complete it fast. So you'll find in a some pampering way, if you distract him, oh yaar chai pi lete, come let's have tea, come let's go for a 5 minutes walk and all, then he will be more focused and more obsessed in studying. So that's another indirect way to motivate. We call it Zygarnik effect in the language of psychology. So this was for the students. Now coming to, in general, how to manage stress. First thing, even the students should try to practice relaxation. Engage in the activities that help you unwind and reduce tension, such as deep breathing, yoga, mindfulness, and meditation. These are not waste things, because most of the students thinking the things which have not happened. What will happen after the exams? Oh my God, will I be able? So live by the moment and live into the moment. Mindfulness training, yoga, meditation prepares you to keep your mind in check, prepares you to discipline your mind not to entertain negative thoughts, self defeating thoughts, pulling thoughts, and taxing thoughts. So one should practice uh, such activities. Maybe early in the morning is the best time. So it may start with the deep breathing, meditation, yoga. So these practices can calm the mind and body, promote a sense of balance and well being. Next is social connection. Definitely, Any stress is like a bouncer ball. If you know how to flick it, it is six or boundary. But if you don't know how to face it, it will blow your face. So try to distribute the energy, try to talk it out to your parents. Parents should be friendly to the kids. Try to talk it out to your friends. So the magnitude of stress will be fizzled out. And that's how that pressure cooker, you get a whistle. And so a social group is a must. That's why girls don't die of a heart attack and cardiac arrest, because they can cry and they can release any stress and they are perfectly fine. The statistical figures say that boys have more proneness to, boys may not take it otherwise, but especially still we are patriarchal and boys do not, mard ko dard kya, that kind of a tendency, they don't share. So situation becomes like a constipation and still you pretend to be smiling. So there's no harm. Share it with your friends, share it with your parents. If there is no one to share, write it down. Start journaling. Journaling is the wonderful combination. Try to write down the things which is causing you stress, the nightmares you get, and read it. So you'll find after writing down, when you become calm, then read it. You'll find 60% of the things have no relevance. They have not happened. We are unnecessarily brooding it, ruminating it. Right. So try to journal it out. And if things are really serious, burn it or tear it. You'll find a lot of relief after journaling. Lot and lot of relief. Then, of course, the biggest antidote to stress is your physical workout. We ignore this fact, but as a student, you should be running for 5 or 6 kilometers or walking, any kind of a workout involving some kind of a thumb, some sweating, some flexible stretching and all. So because it releases a lot of anti-stress hormone like oxytocin, dopamine, and etc. And you feel a lot of feel good after sweating it out, right? So without forgetting, try to either work out in the gym or the natural park or anywhere, some squat, sit up, push up, stretching, etc. So it will naturally release the elixirs or the soothing hormone within your system. And no matter whatever is the stressor, you will feel serene and at ease. It has the same impact as you get the impact those who smoke or drink, you feel calm. You don't need to depend on those negative chemicals. Your body itself produces a lot of oxytocin, dopamine, etc. So go for a workout. And the third, next thing I would say is time management. Manage your time. We make a lot of plans, but we are not able to follow the deadline. So I would say the most crucial among them all is time management. Try to manage your time well, you know. So one is prioritize task based on urgency and importance. Suppose it's exam, so urgency and importance is of your exam, prepare for it. You can leave some friend's birthday, you can leave some latest release for the later on. Learn to prioritize, manage your time. Next technique is Pareto principle. It says 80% of the result come from 20% of effort. So focus on 20% of activities that yield the most significant result. So focusing on key tasks that bring most value is more important, right? Suppose you are poor with mathematics, focus on a few days continuously on mathematics, and other things keep revising, keep improvising. That will make your CGPA high. So this is also called as eat the frog technique, in which the toughest part, if you meet early day, if you kill that, defeat that, it will give you a lot and lot of confidence. No one else can give you motivation on concept better, confidence better than your own effort. So if you do the toughest part first, win over it, there will be a natural elixir. There will be a natural confidence which no one can give. You have to earn it. So plan your day accordingly. And then I would say that get get there is a one Pomodoro technique. Some people just open the book and they keep sitting. There's no absorption. So break your studies into minutes of 25 minutes. Your mind is most receptive for 25 minutes if you focus. So 25 minutes study, then you can listen some song or walk in the lawn or in a balcony or talk to some soothing friend or a relative. So again 25 minutes, right? Or you can do in 5 minutes some small work, sundry work. So this way you can get 10 or 15, 25 minute spells and you can cover up the things very fast, very efficiently. So that's how. Some other tips to manage time is avoid multitasking and don't procrastinate things. don't waste time like gossiping and changing channels and unnecessarily switching on the TVs and TV channels and all. Avoid overcommitting. Some people waste their time by overcommitting. Habit of they don't have a habit of saying no. Learn to fix up the boundary. There will be always a friend who will require your time. There will be always a birthday party, but your top priority should be your professional commitment, which is your exams maybe, and don't skip breaks. I mean, work hard, party harder should be the motto. Rejuvenate yourself in the 5-10 minutes break after every 25 minutes. Maybe a cup of coffee, maybe laughing out with a friends and relieving him. So that's how you, and don't rely on memory alone. Try to practice things. Avoid the limit distractions, avoid unnecessarily meeting, and plan every day even if you get time. So keep planning, keep doing. So if this is the routine, you slowly and gradually you find that time is in your grip, and then you don't panic and you are at ease, and you can just before the exams and all, you should definitely relax. Go for a 1 day before the exams. Let this machine cool down before the show. So these are the general things. And one another thing I would say is follow the routine. Your eating time, your breakfast time, your sleeping time. Try to keep it relatively fixed because your body releases hormones at that time, the digestion and everything. And even if you are a late night reader, try to wake up by 8 if you are studying till 2. So if you be with the nature takes itself, and you can soothe yourself by walking in the nature and by listening soothing songs and by practicing mindfulness. A cuddle of a pet or a small baby is equally healing. And if you are a boy or a girl, you can, in between the breaks, you can cuddle your pet with a cat or a dog you have, right? So all these are the natural, normal things. And of course, if you have some issues, if you are not getting sleep and all, then drink milk with turmeric and all. So it helps you. And there is some sleep inducing music also on Spirit Tribe Awakening YouTube. So you can just put in your system and you can hear those sound sleep inducing. You'll first go to the sleep. And better the quality of sleep decides how you will spend your next day. Try to give your best this day. Consider one day to be one life and live completely in it. And next day you will, bounce back from the bed and go to the routine and everything, because you are slowly and gradually getting a grip over time and getting a control over your preparation or your job or whatever is stressing. So these are a few techniques I would say. If the stress is at the office place, keep it in the office only. Do it logically. Don't involve hard. If the stress is because of a family and friend, don't be logical. I mean, if you have to say sorry, say sorry. You'll feel easy. So that should be the division. The office place is office place. That is not meant to share all your emotions and feeling and weaknesses. So keep a healthy distance. So
I think that is a very big challenge these days to, separate, especially if you're passionate about what you do.
yes, yes.
Although they say, you should do what you love, but then these, like you just said, that there should be a boundary. Sometimes the transgression happens, and, it creates scenarios where, uh, albeit for a little while, you get demotivated and you're upset, and then of course the bouncing back is always there. I just had one particular thing, two things in fact, that I wanted to ask you. What would be the ideal sleep time you would recommend, especially for exam students?
I
How
would
many
say
hours should be enough to rejuvenate the body?
I
Because
think I think optimum 8 hours is required.
yes.
But during youth, even people can be resilient. But at minimum six, if you are sleeping less than 6.5 hours, then your whatever you are learning, you will forget. There are chances that things won't go, because your mind also requires some rest to process the information from the short-term memory to the long-term memory. So sleep is a must. Sleep, I would say, in the modern days, sleep is a superpower. If you can sleep well for 7 hours, and by 11 or so, 11, 11:30, you should be sleeping, and try to get up early. In between, you can have power naps or sound, listening sound and all, but nothing less than 6.5 hours. You should not sleep.
So the ideal sleep is 6 to 6.5.
No,
And
ideal is 8. Ideal is
yes, I
8.
mean, during I'm talking about exam time
But
since,
if you are over pressing also, do not sleep less than 6.5 or 6 hours.
right, right, right.
Even
No,
that,
I just wanted this message to go out very clearly because sometimes what happens, children, like you very rightly pointed out, that, the learning should be divided between 25 minutes, take a break, and then get back. It works well because the mind only has that attention span because
uh,
of how we are geared.
there is a
Now, another
there is a
important,
there is a
yes,
cognitive fog if you cannot focus for more than 25-35 minutes, so make it quality work.
yes,
Focus, get receptive, take a break.
yes.
Focus, take get it the harmony between the system, and everything is in balance.
Right, right. Because I know in the past, I don't know about you, but I have definitely been pulled up by people that look at that child, he can study for 4 hours. And I used to laugh inwardly. I bet he's just doing something else. How can he study for 4 hours? Because that's not how the mind functions.
Exactly.
Another important thing that I want to talk about is two things again, is to do with first nutrition and second, hydration. How do you think that these two things? I know hydration is part of nutrition, but still, I would like to separate it to the food intake or what we eat, and hydration as in water intake, and what kind of things we should go for and what we should avoid, especially during these preparation times.
Yeah, these preparation time, you should definitely avoid heavy food, because the more heavy food you take, the more time it takes for digestion, and there can be so especially fast food you should be avoiding, because it is, again, the name fast food is, I tell my student, because it takes you fast to the grave. Sara math.
Right. That's an interesting
Yes,
interpretation
yes.
of fast food because usually it's
It
the
takes you fast
called
to the
that,
grave.
called that because it's a quick on the go kind of a food. You don't have to be seated. It's a finger food
Yes,
that you
yes.
pick and eat. So interesting interpretation. Very good. I
So,
shall remember it.
yes, for especially if you are preparing for the exam, you should hydrate yourself often. And a lukewarm water or a water bottle should be always there. It's not only water. You should take shakes. You can take consume milk. You can take these banana shake and pineapple shake or that kind of a stuff. But definitely water is indispensable. So you should definitely hydrate yourself, because your body is 70% water, and a lot of tension, palpitation is built up when body is dehydrated. The cellular volume should be maintained. So banana shake or any kind of a shake, matta, curd milk and all, you should consume. Milk, especially in the night while sleeping, because it causes sleep also. And any inflammation is, if you add the turmeric and a little jaggery to the milk, it prevents any kind of inflammation. So, and food should be light in nature, because I've seen that those who eat light, especially, you should follow the principle of you should have a breakfast like a king, right? Because the body and digestion throughout the day gets nutrients, but you should have a lunch like a beggar and dinner like a pauper. During, if you want to get a good night's sleep, keep one third of your stomach empty and eat at the right time. That is the key. Eat at around 8:30. Any hostel, any good place, you eat around 8:30, because throughout the night it gets a chance. You can study even after eating, because your stomach is still one third empty. So eat around 7 or 8, that is optimum. And after eating, also after a little walk, you can make a study of 2-3 hours, and then that is optimum. But the quality of sleep should be very good. If you want to get a best quality sleep, try to work out daily. And during exam, your mind is also very, it's running, so you get a good quality sleep. You can further add value to it by, keeping your mobile away, which is biggest distractor of sleep, because your melatonin and body routine breaks because of it, because of mobile phone. So keep it away.
Mm.
1 or 2 hours before your sleep, you should keep any screen away, whether it is TV or this mobile or anything, because your body gets a signal it is a day and you don't get quality sleep. So try to drink water before the sleep, and sometime if you love songs, instrumental and peace loving songs, you should put this and you listen and fall asleep. And if you're not getting sleep, study the subject which is most boring. You will very soon fall asleep.
That's that's interesting. Now, coming to the fact that you're saying that, we should all eat by 7 or 8, right? And that applies to everybody. But there can be, certain cravings, especially if you're working, late in the night, like some of us are night owls. So we tend to be more productive at night because there's stillness, there's calm, and some of us, want that kind of environment to get things done, where we have to put thought into what has to be done. So, what kind of, a snack? I know snacking is not good, but what kind of a snack would you kind of allow a person who has these cravings for food? And
Yeah,
even during the day, because although, yes, we all know that we should eat like a king and we should, have lunch like a prince and probably dinner like the pauper. But if I look at the Indian scenario, it sometimes topsy turvy
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
we get late. So sometimes we're just rushing out with maybe a shake in a dispensable bottle, or maybe a bottle or a flask. We carry our coffee and that's what we have for breakfast. Some of us, I know friends who will just have a cup of coffee on their way out of the house because they're probably preparing for something or whatever our duties allow. And then they have again lunch is a bit skewed, and they come home and they have a lavish dinner because that's the only meal that they actually have. So I know that it is very skewed. Still, if we are able to manage what is expected of a king, prince, and pauper, what kind of a snack would you
yeah. Of
suggest for
course.
someone who has
Yeah,
cravings for
yeah.
uh,
I should have answered. So I would say generally you should take all the nutrients. Don't deprive yourself from any one nutrients by drinking a lot of cold drinks or coffees and all. You should have a meal in which is first there is a lot of leafy vegetables. There should be protein rich like eggs and all. And you should also be consuming grains and carbohydrates, wheat and flour, millets, etc. And for a quick turn up, of course, you should keep a lot of sweets, glucose. Even this is helpful during night. If you keep jaggery, if you keep biscuits, if you keep cream biscuits and all, so they help you rejuvenate your body, immediately digest. It is easy to digest, and it gives you a quick boost of energy. So for the day, I would say you should eat milk. I mean, all nutrients, carbohydrates, vitamins. Take a lot of vitamins, vitamin C and B and A complex, so that your eyes, your skin, and your tenacity is fine. And try to spend some time in the sun so as to have vitamin D, or and try to have fibers and salads. So pomegranate and fruits early in the morning during breakfast and lunch. Have a lot of fruits. In between also in the day you can have a lot of fruits, apple, citrus fruits, and banana, guava and all. And have salad in the night. So this is light also. Try to keep the food in the night as light as possible. So it will be good for you, for your digestion, as well as for your good quality of sleep. And that's it. There is a lot of hunger, but don't eat fast food because it takes a toll on your temperament, on your mood swings also. It does not help you get a good sleep because stomach discomfort also come. So I'll go for a home cooked food, and all this is supplemented by keeping yourself hydrated by coffee breaks in between. It again helps you focus, coffee or tea breaks. Then in the day you can have buttermilk and all, and you can have at least 3 4 liters of waters throughout the day. So if you are consuming this, it will be fine. And try to, if you are having tea, try to have a cinnamon in the tea. It is again a cooling effect. So there are a lot of soothing things like adding turmeric in the milk, adding cinnamon in the tea, and these things. If you have a add ginger in your tea, it is again anti-inflammatory. So all such foods, your mother and your mentors, everyone, we all have been grown with this desi foods staying in India. So they have a good glimpse of it.
So, any parting words that you would have on this entire session of stress before we tune off?
Yeah, I would say to all the aspirants, and because this is the life where there is a lot of competition and there is a lot of don't compare yourself with anyone. You have only one person you to compete, you yourself, what you were previous day, how you have improvised physically, mentally, and psychologically the very next day, how evolved you have become, how you are more ready to take challenges. That means how you have enhanced your adversity quotient. That will only decide how successful you are. And in the last, I would depart. I would like to dedicate one shairi for all of you. um, uh, the shairi goes like, what was the shairi? I just forgot. I have made. It was something like कोशिशों से हौसलों से नहीं मंजिलें उनको मिलती हैं, मंजिलें उन्हीं को मिलती हैं जिनके सपनों में जान होती है, पंख से कुछ नहीं होता, मंजिलें उन्हीं को मिलती हैं जिनके सपनों में जान होती है, पंख से कुछ नहीं होता, हौसलों से उड़ान होती है. Never say die unless you do. So
Very
all the
true.
best for your exam and life,
Very
and
true.
spend
Very
a
true,
stress-free life.
sir.
And namaste.
Uh, and I think, sir, you dispelled the gravity, the seriousness of the entire talk by your, small couplet. I think it brought out the fact that yes, life is challenging. We all face challenges in our life, but it's our resilience and our
Yes,
belief in self which helps us tide many a challenge.
yes,
And I think it's just to keep going and never give up. And I think most importantly in this moment of, especially because it's exam time around the world, like I said,
yes, yes,
international curricula also have exams around this time of the year. I think it is more that one should be having self belief and, like you said, compare yourself to yourself. Don't compare yourself to another. It's like asking the frog to climb up a tree or asking a bird to run.
yeah,
So I think we are all different. We are all wonderful individuals. We all have our pluses. And I think if we focus on ourselves and how to make ourselves a better version of ourselves, it will
exactly.
help to tide everything else. And of course, I'm an emotional person, so I think just being there for someone, you don't necessarily always have to give a solution to everything that is shared with you, because I think sometimes we listen just to advise and not to respond.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think we need to become listeners actually and tune into what the person is saying and not be ready with, oh, you could do this. Because many a times that is not what the person want. All they want is, just hear me out. So with these words, it is myself, Dr. Anju Sabarwal, and our respected Professor Dr. Tosendra Dwivedi signing off this episode of the IIU Medical Talk Show. We will be back next week with another session on a different gambit of health. Thank you for being such a wonderful, I think, doctor, sharing your entire experience with us and making it seem so simple. I think
thank
many
you,
of
ma'am.
us would have picked up a lot of things. Yes, some things we transgress, but I think it's being mindful enough to understand ourselves first and then moving on. So, bye bye. Till
Bye,
next
ma'am.
time, take care, be safe. Thank you so much for tuning in with
Thank
us.
you, ma'am. Thank you. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye bye.